Hey everyone, Tanner Bell here from makersgonnalearn.com. In today's video, we're going to share with you our 2021 Cricut must-haves. As you guys know, these are things that we use time and time again every crafting session. What you'll notice as a lot of these tools we have been using for years, but the thing here, guys, is that we're continually using these. They are tried and they're true. So if you do not have some of these, I would highly recommend considering adding it to your crafting stash because these are things that we totally consider our must-haves for 2021. Before we jump into it, I want to share with you guys our Makers Gonna Learn membership. If you have not went ahead and checked it out and joined but love all our free content here on YouTube, you will absolutely love the membership. You get thousands of cut files, hundreds of fonts, member-only training like our 30 days to master your Cricut, amazing printable resources, and you even get additional member-only videos. So definitely check it out at the first link down below. But let's go ahead and jump into all our favorite must-haves of 2021. Now, as of February 2021, the Cricut Maker is still a must-have. This is our top-of-the-line Cricut cutting machine that we absolutely love, as there is nothing it cannot do when it comes to the cutting ability of all the materials that we love to cut. Now, next up is something new that I got to do my first head-to-head comparison video with Cricut cutting mats. And y'all, please watch the video if you have not already, because me comparing all these Cricut mats, I don't understand how Rachel has been doing comparison videos, because you have to give some hard truth in the video and you just can't be happy all the time. But this right here is a Nikapa cutting mat that you can find on Amazon, and we really do love this one. It's really affordable, it cuts great for all the materials we use, so we are highly recommending this as of February 2021. So definitely check out the comparison video because we put the Cricut mat to the test, the Paper Studio mat, and this one, and it's just a lot of fun to see the head-to-head comparison of the things that we were benchmarking. Next up, this right here is something that we love having in the studio, and this is the Cricut Tool Caddy. I know you may have seen this out there already, but we truly are loving this to organize all the tools. This is great for any of your blades, like the deep point blade, all of the different Cricut adaptive tools, your additional blades to trade out for your fine point blades. All of it is perfectly organized right here in the Tool Caddy. This is something that Cricut came out with, I believe, mid last year, but something that we have not took full advantage of until recent, and I definitely love having everything organized. So if you're struggling with organizing your tools and all of your different blades as well, definitely check it out. We'll have it linked down below. Next up is something I've literally had for over a decade. That right here, my friends, is the SCOTCH ATG gun. This stands for Advanced Tape Glider, and I had one of these back before they even sold them at craft stores, before people even knew that they were perfect for card making. It was kind of like one of those things you had to find on a framing website, but what I love is that you can find these at Michael's now for like $20 with a coupon. But back then it was like almost 50. So this is a really affordable option if you're going to do any type of 3D projects, paper projects, anything like that. This right here is fantastic. Why? Because if you compare this to the smaller dry adhesives, you're going to see that they eventually add up to costing way more than taking an initial investment of $20 to $30 and getting this. A lot of people may consider this overkill as a beginner, but I think if you know you're going to do paper crafting for any amount of time, you'll definitely get the value out of this, and then it'll start saving you a ton. As you can see, the cartridges are really large and they're really affordable. Now, one of the biggest things about the ATG gun that I see scare people is actually changing this right here. So I have a whole video dedicated to sharing with you guys how to actually change this, as it can be a little daunting the first or even the second time that you do it. But if you're considering grabbing one of these, I want to share with you how easy it is to actually use. All you want to do is have your card, your cardstock, whatever it is. You're going to pull the trigger, and then you're going to put it out right here, and you'll see it will instantly lay out a perfect strip of adhesive. This right here is dry adhesive, meaning there's no dry time. It's instantly sticky, it sticks really well together, and one of my favorite things about the ATG gun is, let's say you put ATG on a piece of paper that you need to take off. Traditional wet adhesive would ruin your paper. What I love about the ATG gun is, yes, it's very strong, but if you take your finger or anything and start rubbing it, just like so, you'll see it'll instantly come up off the paper and not damage it whatsoever. It's a really interesting hack, and they even have special tools to help you remove it if you need it, but I found my finger works quite well. It'll kind of create a little ball, you pull it up, and there you have it, no adhesive on your cardstock. It is a paper crafter's dream. Continuing on with the ATG gun, let's talk about the bone folder. Again, my friends, if you are a card maker, 3D project enthusiast, and you do not have a bone folder yet, and you're looking for crisp lines and being able to create some really high-end projects out of paper, the bone folder is truly a must-have. Again, I've had one of these for almost over a decade in my card making, and I honestly could not live without it. If you don't have one, you could use a recycled gift card, things like that, but I highly recommend the $2 to $6 investment for a really quality bone folder like this one right here. I absolutely love it, and it's just something great to have, again, to make your projects look just a little bit more professional. Next up, after the bone folder, you also want to create score lines so that you can use the bone folder on, am I right? So this right here is a scoring stylus from Cricut. Now the reason why we recommend this particular one right here is that you can actually use it in the Cricut Explorer Air or the Cricut Maker. This one right here is universal, and it can go in clamp A. If you look at the adaptive tool for scoring, that actually still goes in clamp B, and I'm personally not a fan of having to stop the cutting process, change out the scoring stylus for the fine point blade when there's a solution for this to just hang out in clamp A the entire cutting process. So that's why I purposely recommended this scoring stylus for you, whether you have the Cricut Explorer or even a Cricut Maker. Next up is one of my all-time favorite Cricut tools, and that, my friends, is the Cricut TruControl knife. Now this right here is just like a traditional X-Acto knife, but redefined for the crafter in mind. I love that it has a really great handle. It has an ability to not roll off your table, and it has a touchless ability to change the blade. You do not have to touch the blade to change it. And on top of all those features, it's actually super sharp and has a great lifespan for every single blade. So it's really fantastic. You can keep the same housing forever and just simply change out the blades, and they last a really long time. They also come in quite a few colors now for the crafter that wants to match it with their craft space. Next up is an item from 143 Vinyl that we absolutely love. It looks like a regular pen, and it's called the Pen Weeding Tool, that actually, when you open it, you'll see a nice little needle point for all of your intricate pieces of weeding. Imagine weeding a mandala. Anything like that you're needing to weed intricately or just do all the inner pieces of a project, you're going to see that this right here with the Pen Weeding Tool is fantastic. Now, in addition to this weeding tool, we also love this newer one that we found. It's just an off-market weeding tool found on Amazon, and this is great for all the outer edges. I always use a tool like this for the outer edges. You can find these at Cricut, but the one that we're going to link to for you guys, they're actually a little bit sharper and has a little bit better durability. The same concept, but we found it lasts just a little bit longer, and I highly recommend having both weeding tools for your projects. Next up, this is another tool from 143 Vinyl, and you guys can see it's just a simple scraper. Whether you have a Cricut scraper, a 143 scraper, it really does not matter as long as you have one, as we're always constantly needing to burnish vinyl down onto the mat, burnish vinyl onto transfer tape, or burnish vinyl onto your project. If you're doing any type of vinyl project, honestly, having a scraper tool is a necessity. You want to have the best quality results with the least amount of headache, and that right here is why we highly recommend having the scraper tool. Another tool that we're constantly using is a measuring tape. This right here is something that we recommend all our students to have on hand because we truly do believe measuring twice, cutting once. What that looks like is measuring the surface area of your project so that you can size your vinyl, your iron-on appropriately to fit the project. We constantly are using it to find the center points. We're constantly wanting to measure the surface of a tumbler. So this right here is very particular that we love the measuring tape because whether it's a rounded surface or not, you're always going to be able to measure it really easily. And if you ever need one, Becca always has one in her pocket, which I think is one of my personal favorite things about her. Next up is the mini EasyPress. I just recently filmed a video on if you need more than one EasyPress, so you definitely want to check out that video to see if you can really live with just one EasyPress, but we definitely recommend the mini EasyPress as a necessity for all your crafting projects. One thing that the entire team has realized is that the mini EasyPress is going to definitely help you across the board in all of your crafting. We love how awesome and durable it is. We love the precision we can get with it, and it's really an all-around affordable entry-level ability to do iron-on projects really well. So definitely check that out if you haven't already. Something I would add to my list, probably one of the #1 must-haves on the table that I recommend for 2021. Next up is my good friend LYNN hot glue gun from SureBonder. I love this hot glue gun. It is 2 minutes of working time wireless off the stand, which is fantastic. And believe it or not, this is considered a mini hot glue gun. I honestly would consider it a medium-sized hot glue gun because it doesn't have the size of a true mini hot glue gun. It's just a hair larger. You will use the mini hot glue gun sticks in this hot glue gun. And again, if you ever get tired of only having 2 minutes of working time, you can simply unplug the cord out of the stand and plug it directly into the bottom of the hot glue gun. So then it becomes a corded hot glue gun if you need it to have more than 2 minutes working time. But I've found for the majority of my projects, the 2 minutes of working time, putting it back on the stand has never been a true issue for me unless I'm doing something like a really big 3D project, a paper flower that I need a ton of adhesive for really quickly. Now these next three are perfect sealers, but you want to use each sealer dependent on the project. So right here is our polyacrylic. This is a water-based sealer, and honestly, my friends, if you are used to working with a decoupage medium to seal your projects, the polyacrylic is the next step up. It's a really great material. It has very little brush strokes, and boy oh boy do I love the finish of this. They come in a few different finishes. This right here is probably one of my favorites, coming in at clear satin. Next up, we love our dishwasher-safe Mod Podge. I think we get more questions about sealing projects and making sure they're dishwasher safe than almost anything, so this right here is fantastic. And I'll answer the question for you guys. The biggest drawback about making anything dishwasher safe is yes, it has a cure time of 28 days. You want to be sure to follow that, as that is what they recommend on the packaging. Now our third sealer that we highly recommend having is the fast drying spray polyurethane. This right here is amazing, and you're not going to have any brush strokes with it as it's going to be just a spray. I highly recommend using it in a well ventilated area, and definitely checking out some of our other sealing videos so you learn exactly which sealer to use for what projects that you're going to make. Next up is our alcohol pump bottle. This right here is something that we love, and it honestly is purely genius. We find these traditionally at the dollar store. You can find them on Amazon as well, but you simply can take your paper towel, pump 1 or 2 pumps, have the perfect amount of alcohol to clean any project off, any glass surface before applying your vinyl. It's definitely going to save you in the long run working with vinyl. I absolutely love the masking paper transfer tape found right here. You're going to save a ton of money over the course of your crafting if you find what projects work best for you, switching from traditional transfer tape to the masking paper transfer tape. Check out some of our videos and see which transfer tape we use when and where, and start trying that as well, because this is so much more affordable than traditional transfer tape. And speaking of transfer tape, let's talk about vinyl. This right here is our STARCRAFT vinyl, and we are absolutely loving it. They're always constantly adding new colors, and it really does do an amazing job. It is honestly one of the top of the line vinyls that we've had the ability to work with. And for heat transfer vinyl, we're still loving our Caesar Easy Weed. This is a great project. We've been able to wash it time and time again, and it always holds up and does amazing for us every single project. Guys, thank you so much for hanging out with me to see our 2021 must-have craft supplies when it comes to using our cutting machine. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Let me know what tools that you have. Do you love them? What do you think we're missing in our crafting stash? I would love to hear from you guys in the comments down below. If you haven't went ahead and joined our membership, definitely check that out at the first link down below, as we would love to see you as a member, so you can go ahead and join our member-only Facebook group and so much more of our member benefits. Again, check that out at the first link down below. If you found this video to be helpful, give it a thumbs up, subscribe for more Cricut videos every single week, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye, friends.